The G.I. Joe Ninja team has infiltrated Springfield, but nothing as it seems. Meanwhile, Dr. Mindbender has his revenge. Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics. G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, Volume 1, Issue 317. Off the coast of Cobra Island, a lamprey says, "Slow down, there's something bobbing out there." Garbage bags. Lampreys are the elite of Cobra's naval force. They are handpicked from the best of the eels, but undergo even more rigorous training, which often involves diving in shark-infested waters and exploring the frigid depths of the Arctic. A blue ninja says mega yachts are dumping their garbage again. Can't be bothered with compacting it and hauling it into port. Cobra Island is under the control of Alpha zero zero 001 of the Revenant. The blue ninja finishes by saying crazy rich day sailors, a brace of black ray torpedoes up their transoms might improve their attitude. The hydrofoil leaves, and beneath the floating garbage is the G.I. Joe team. This team includes Muskrat, Agent Helix, Molto, and Wetsuit. Agent Helix, real name classified, is Covert Operations Officer for the G.I. Joe team. She's an expert marksman with advanced martial arts training, an Olympic-class gymnast. She uses her distinctive whirlwind attack to deliver overpowering combination of kicks and firepowers to Cobra agents. Muskrat spent his formative years up to his knees in one Louisiana swamp or another, hunting raccoons, possums, and wild pigs. He held his own against poachers, gators, skimmers, moonshiners, escaped convicts, and smugglers. Molto is the first Filipino to join the G.I. Joe team and specializes in jungle warfare. Wetsuit is a member of the G.I. Joe team and a former Navy SEAL. He hails from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The Joes swim ashore. Wetsuit says, "Let's get our gear into the undergrowth." Muskrat sweep our tracks across the beach. The G.I. Joe infiltration team gets out of their scuba gear and changes into their combat uniforms. They also need to hide their communication system. The team is equipped with new ghillie suits that make them invisible to infrared scanners. These ghillie suits do not itch, providing added comfort. The G.I. Joe team checks their weapons, lock loaded and ready to rock and roll. Wetsuit says we need to mount daylight surveillance. Helix and Molto will take the first watch, set up inside the tree line where you have a clean line of sight on the casino and the hotel. Muskrat and I will dig in here and set up our hidden bivouac. Muskrat adds, we have heat wave disruptor, netting, and anti-infrared mylar linings for the ICS tents. Wetsuit continues, Molto, when you and Helix return, you set up the communication system while Muskrat and I take our turn at the surveillance site. Molto leaves with Helix. Molto says, Helix, you got an automatic ranging telescope mounted on your Mic 2-1. Helix responds, affirmative, Molto. I can zoom in on anything you spot with the wide angle binoc. Molto whispering says, okay, we maintain sound discipline from here on. We've got a coverage chart of Cobra motion detection system, so we're going to set up in a dead zone. He continues, line of sight is better, but we have to mind our P's and Q's or we'll blow our coverage. Then he observes, we got activity in the parking lot. Agent Helix responds, it's the casino patrons and the hotel guests. Look like they've been administered an antidote for the mutant virus and they're being shipped home. She pauses, then adds, what's the odds they've been checked or worse? We know the civilians can be mind controlled by Revenant. In Springfield, the ninja G.I. Joes are infiltrating Cobra in another way. Snake Eyes, Scarlett, Sean Collins, and Jinx have disguised themselves as Crimson Guard Steve's family. Storm Shadow and Dawn Morano have also accompanied them on the mission. A Cobra trooper approaches their car and says, we are required to check all IDs of returnees. Please turn off your engine and keep your hands on the wheel. Snake Eyes, posing as Crimson Guard Steve, responds, I'm Crimson Guard Steve 241. The Cobra trooper checks the database and says, okay, let me look that up. You match the file photo and you are traveling with your wife, Barb, daughter, Nina, and Barb's father, Dan. You evacuated during the battle. Snake Eye replies, my unit was disseminated and is no longer effective. Didn't want to stick around for retributions. The Cobra trooper says, okay, you're clear. I'll mark you down as returning former residents. Report to the community center in the morning to get your new assignments. Scarlett posing as Steve's wife, Barb says, well, that went smoothly than I expected. Jinx posing as Nina, the daughter of Barb and Steve, adds, looks like half the town got flattened, Scarlett, but the rebuilding is already progressing at quite a pace. The G.I. Joe Ninja team enters the house. Snake Eyes gets out of the car and says, just in case any prying eyes, as he makes sure the garage door is closed. He then goes to Scarlett and says, can you get started debugging the house while I let the rest of the team out of the trunk? Storm Shadow and Dawn Morano are in the back of the trunk while Sean Collins, posing as Dan, the father of Barb, is getting into his new role with growing confidence. Morano takes the clock and says, I'm going to shut off the cam for 20 seconds and patch the digital recorder to the outpost line. As soon as the clock goes back on the wall, we have to be on and in character as Steve's 241's family. We can patch that loop back into the feed and breathe easier. There is a knock at the door. It's the neighbor, kid, Monty, who is part of the Cobra Youth movement. Monty says, I noticed you're back and I was wondering if Nina was interested in renewing her Cobra Youth Corps membership. Our troop activity today is helping out the senior center, so maybe we can take her granddad to their sing-along. Nina, aka Jinx, replies, that would be terrific, Monty. Granddad needs to get out and socialize. Scarlett says as Snake Eyes closes the door, this is good. The sooner we integrate into community, the better. In Baton Rouge, at the Revenant Dome, the Revenant agents speak among themselves. There has been a surgical union for over 5 hours, one says, because we had a lot of work to do, but we just completed the final cycle. Another adds, congratulations, Dr. Mindbender. We didn't just give you the antidote for the mutant virus. You've been greatly improved. You now stronger, faster, and possess a higher brain capacity. Plus, you now have an unarmed martial arts chip, a targeting suite, and a wireless link to the Revenant's mainframe banks. The Blue Ninja says Alpha zero zero 001 has arranged for more appropriate wardrobe. When you change, please step outside to the parking lot. We've arranged a demonstration of your new improvements and add-ons. Are you prepared, Dr. Mindbender? Dr. Mindbender replies, I feel positively invigorated. The Blue Ninja then says, perfect. Your first opponent is armed with 2 energy sabers. Dr. Mindbender shows off his new skills, enhanced powers, advanced battlesuit by grabbing a Blue Ninja and tearing its hands apart. When assault rifles open fire, his armor blocks all the bullets. He then grabs an energy saber, decapitates enemies with swift, lethal strikes. Then the Blue Ninja takes out a flamethrower, but it has no effect on Dr. Mindbender. Even his face appears to be fire repellent. Dr. Mindbender uses a saber, then grabs the Blue Ninja by the head and says, I know you planted chips and control units in me when I was in the surgical bot. I need to have a chit-chat with Alpha zero zero 001. On Cobra Island, Alpha zero zero 001 says, I hope you enjoyed your stay at our casino and resort. We certainly hope you tell all your friends about the wonderful time you had here. As the casino guests watch a hologram of Alpha zero zero 001, a Blue Ninja, once again in disguise, tell Alpha zero zero 001, Dr. Mindbender would like a word with you. Dr. Mindbender responds, I fully understand that the Revenant wishes to maintain some control over me, and I'm okay with the trade-off to be cured of the mutant virus, but I will require a fully stocked lab to continue my work with the frozen clone corpse of the original Serpentor. Alpha zero zero 001 replies, we refurbished our lab in the west wing of the casino complex. It's just sitting there waiting for you. Alpha zero zero 001, who is actually a robotic snake appearing as a holographed human, oversees the casino where the recently zombified guests now appear human again, but are secretly controlled by the Revenant. Suddenly, one of the casino goers begins twitching, her head turning erratically as a gas-like substance escapes from her mouth. Alpha zero zero 001, excuse us, Dr. Mindbender, while we deal with a technical glitch in one of our conversions. Hostess 023, terminate the glitch. Hostess 023 says targeted, locked, and then incinerates the head of the defective casino goer. Alpha zero zero 001 says you will all erase the last 2 minutes from your memories. Thank you. Dr. Mindbender mutters. They apparently have not ironed out all the wrinkles nor debugged this program. The G.I. Joe infiltration team witnessed this and knows they need to alert Duke immediately. In Scotland, Cobra Commander says the details of the deal you are proposing, Destro, are totally unacceptable. I will not agree to any of it, and I will have you know that I am particularly resistant to torture and brainwashing. Desha replies, that's unfortunate indeed. It behooves me to inform you that while you were under anesthesia to treat your wounds, we implanted remote neuron triggers in several of your nervous system nodes. A short demonstration is in order. Destro clicks a button. Co-commander screams out, stop! It's excruciating. Destro says the triggers are in the pain reception centers and induce a magnitude of agony quite beyond normal perception. As the pain intensifies, Cobra Commander screams, turn it off, I'll do anything you want. Destro then says, this is quite unpleasant, should I stop? Baroness replies, heavens no, I haven't been this entertained in years. In Utah, Wetsuit is patched through to Duke. Duke says, so what is the situation report, Wetsuit? Wetsuit replies, we're dug in and created a hide with counter surveillance measures. We also set up at the tree line to monitor casino activities. Helix and Molto have been observing the goings on at the casino. They believe that Alpha zero zero 001 is surgically altering and brainwashing the casino patrons, then sending them back to the mainland as sleeper agents. Duke says to Wetsuit, you have to establish how this is being done and where the facilities are and the disposition of the converted tourists. We need addresses on all the returning tourists. There must be a passenger manifest stored in the computers. Continue the mission and keep me posted. Wetsuit responds, we're here for the long haul, Duke. Over and out. Suddenly another encrypted message comes through. It's the ninja team in Springfield. Scarlett says, we've settled in and Jinx and Sean are immersing themselves in the community. Stormshadow and Dawn are going full ninja tonight and will be doing a preliminary recon of the community center in the HQ set up by Destro's troops. Duke replies, be on constant alert and get plenty of rest. Stalker adds, being undercover is extremely stressful. When you're not 100% alert, the worst can happen. Scarlett says, roger that. Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Volume 1, Issue 318.